excuse my shirt. I dropped mac and cheese pizza on it. And then I also ate some cake and got icing on my sleeve. I'm not good at eating with my left hand, and I did not realize that eating was so right hand dominant. I need to get my head in the frame. Lovely. Well, this intro is very chaotic, but so is life. So have fun editing me. Anyway, my best friend and my mom just FaceTimed me. Best friend first, and I literally hung up with her, put my phone back on the stand, was about to hit record when my mom FaceTimed me. So I'm a little bit further in. I'm working with gray now. I'm making little drawstring bags. Over this, it's Tuesday, and between Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, I figured out, no, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Did I say Tuesday? It's Wednesday. And over Sunday, so Monday, and Tuesday, I figured out how to use this machine. I prefer crocheting. I've got to heal up so I can crochet, because not crocheting is, it is slightly torturous. It is. And I'm keeping up with my crochet parasocial friends on YouTube, and I just want to crochet. Just want to crochet. Anyway, I'm making these little drawstring bags, and it's just Wednesday, and I really do want to keep a schedule of Tuesday uploads and Thursday uploads and Tuesday educational maybe uploads. Those educational videos are more of a bonus video per week. I really would like to post every Thursday. I am editing this on a Thursday. It's just the week after I thought I would be posting and editing this. So I figured I would sit or stand and talk to you a little bit about the accident, because I've had several people ask me to. I've thought about what I am going to say, and let me tell you something. It took probably, I'm gonna say less than 60 seconds to have, like it probably took less than 90 seconds to have this accident, and I'm probably going to talk to you for about 30 minutes explaining things and what was going on in my head and that kind of thing. It's kind of like when you fall and your brain works so fast, pumping out like sentences in your head while you're like crashing onto the floor. But yeah, I was Thursday the 23rd. My plan was I had a video edited, and all I had to do was post it on Thursday. It was Thursday. I went to Mom's house, and I got there in order to drop my doggy off with her, because she took them to the groomers. She sold something to the groomer so that the groomer would wash my dog 3 times. because our groomer is actually like more of a friend than just our dog's groomer. So, I'm also just going to, I'm like running out of the gray color, so I'm not necessarily counting as much as I have been, which I've been trying to count, but there's some bags that is obvious that I've lost count with. So anyway, gosh, I do hate being in the cast. Anyway. Can you tell? No, not really. They're doing much better, but I'll put up a picture about how like bruised this hand. It's still bruised, like it not visually, but I can still feel that the fingers are bruised and stuff. But anyway, I had most of my mom's, because she was moving into the camper, from a 4-bedroom into a camper. So I had most of her kitchen that she wasn't keeping in my car. And we finished putting the rest of her kitchen in my car, and half of it I was keeping myself because it was things that I grew up with. I was going to trade out the bundt pan, the Pampered Chef bundt pan that I found in a thrift store for the one that we cooked pound cakes in throughout my childhood, because my dad's favorite cake is a pound cake. So I have so many memories, had so many memories of my mom and helping my mom bake in this bundt pan. She probably got it in, hold on, I think she wrote it down, like 1990, she didn't write down the date, but it was like 1997, like the year after I was born. Or no, I'm sorry, the year before I was born. So like there's so much antique stuff that I grew up with that half of it, like I was going to take, even if I was replacing things that I had in my kitchen with the antique that I had growing up. And then the other stuff I was going to list on Facebook Marketplace to sell. Because if I could sell it, that would be great because I get money. And then, you know, I also want to go through my kitchen and take things that I'm no longer using or I don't use enough and sell it on Facebook Marketplace too. And then if, you know, I have it for a month and no one buys it, I can donate it to charity, or, you know, I can get rid of it without selling it. That was the plan. So I had my mom's complete entire, I mean, from can openers to the utensils, like the cooking utensils that she didn't use anymore, to like soap dispenser bottles. I mean, I had mom's entire kitchen that she wasn't taking into the camper in the back of my car. And knowing that I was going to pick up the puppies because mom and dad had a dentist appointment in the afternoon, and that was the arrangement. She'd take the dogs to the groomers, and then I bumped the table, sorry. I was going to go and pick the dogs up from the groomers. So we finished putting her entire kitchen into my car, and they got ready to go to the dentist, and I was like, I did a rough sweeping of the house, and oh my god, like now that like the furniture and everything is like gone out of the house, the hair that was from under the bed, under the couches, under the behind the desks and stuff, the dog hair was really bad. So I did like a rough sweeping first, picked up so much dog hair, like every room it was several dustpans full of just doggy snow clouds. And then I started, like, I got a damp cloth and I started like scrubbing the baseboards and like a lot of my mom has a lot of built-in shelves in some of the closets and stuff, and the room that I started in had this really huge built-in closet. So I started dusting the floorboards and what is the the floorboard, but it's like in the middle of the wall, like probably a yard up from the floor. I was cleaning those off from dust and stuff, and I got about half of that room that I started in dusted. And my mom was like, hey, the puppies are ready. So I got ready and I grabbed, my water can and, turned off all the lights and locked all the doors and started on my way to get the dogs. And the part of the road that I crashed on was 45. The speed limit was 45. And I had my cruise on 50. And I passed a sign that was like one of those "your speed is" signs, and it told me I was going 47. And I was thinking about my speed, and I was like, I could bump up because I am willing to go 50, obviously, because my speed limit was set to 50. And I was like, you know what? Ignore it. It's fine. My cruise is going. I'm going. It's fine. And then, okay, so about 15 seconds after you pass that sign, there is this huge S curve. It's not sharp at all. It is a very nice, wide, lovely stretch of road, especially because it was fall and the leaves were changing, okay? And all I did was turn my cruise off. In my car, there was a lever on the steering wheel, and if you flip it, it would just turn the cruise, it would just pause the cruise. So you can pause the cruise without putting your foot on the brake. So I just took the cruise off so that I could go through this curve a little slower, at least not accelerating through the curve. And like I said, it's not sharp at all. It's a lovely curve to drive through. And there was a side road in the middle of the one curve, like the bottom of the S. And in front of me, there was this white SUV, and he darted in front of me to get into the side road. So I tapped my brakes because he darted in front of me. So I tapped my brakes, and I didn't even have time to be like, oh, moron. Even in my head, I didn't have time to call him names because he darted in front of me. Because after I tapped on the brakes, I didn't even see this car because of the big white SUV in front of it, but this red car just decided to turn into me. Because I had tapped on the brakes from the white car, my foot was already on the brake and I slammed on it as hard as I could, but that was the only thing that I could do to react because I had no time. I had absolutely no time. And now I'm really grateful that I was like, it's fine with my cruise, and I'm glad that I turned off my cruise, because you don't even have to turn off the cruise to go through the curve. It's that nice of a curve. But I was just, I had a bunch of glass in my car and I didn't want to throw it around in the back of my car. So now I'm looking back and I'm like, thank you so much for making me turn off the cruise and also, you know, have my foot on the brake. He hit me and my windshield shattered. And he pushed, I think he accelerated when he seen that he was gonna hit me, because he pushed me off the road, like pushed me off the road, and I was trying to steer to miss a pole, a telephone pole. But I remember two thoughts going through my brain. I can't hit the pole, and why is my brakes not working? Like, I feel like my brakes aren't working. And I feel like after we got out of the car and stuff, I think that we realized that I was not touching the ground. Like, there was a ditch. I was pushed off into the ditch. So the brakes weren't working because I wasn't touching the ground. And my steering wasn't working very well because I wasn't touching the ground. And I did almost miss the pole. I'll put up a picture somewhere in the story, but when I hit the pole, and it's so funny because, like, I do listen to music. I'm a huge supporter of not touching your phone while driving. My phone was in a cradle on, like, the passenger air vent. And it's great there because if I need to, like, put maps on and stuff, I can see pretty well. But I was listening to music, but even if, like, I'm a huge supporter of hands-free while you're driving. So the fate of Ophelia was playing, and I listened to my music a little loud. I'm slightly deaf, so I slammed into this pole, and the steering wheel airbag and the driver's side door airbag went off, and it was shocking. My car paused because I don't know if anyone knows the joke of people acting like they've are flipped upside down in their car and after a wreck, and their radio is still like bumping. My car paused the music and called 911. I didn't even know that my car could do that, and I think because I need a new car now, that is one of the things that I'd like my car to do, along with having seat warmers, butt warmers, and being able to sync with my car or with my phone and that kind of thing. So my car called 911, and I don't think I passed out at all, but after it happened, I was definitely dazed. I'm so glad, number one, that I did not have the puppies in my car. Number two, I'm glad that I didn't have a passenger in the car, because most of everything in the back ended up in the passenger seat. I had a bunch of like cuts and scrapes. I don't know if you can see the new skin right there. I had a bunch of cuts and scrapes because so much of it was broken. It was something, a box that we put literally, it was the last thing we put in the back of the car. So it was like in the very, 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 very back of the car. We put the hatch down. It was in the passenger seat and glass was everywhere. However, antique Pyrex, there were full, not cracked, not broken, antique Pyrex pie dishes in the dash. My mom had laughed at that because there was this wreckage in my car of all of these broken things, and then there was a perfectly fine Pyrex. She was like, this could be an awesome advertisement for Pyrex. But this Pyrex was like 20 years old, so, or older. So, there were some antique glass that, and they were thick, man. They were probably 1/4 of an inch thick glass, and they were wrapped up in a pair of pants. Oh, I'm gonna miss those pants. They were this beautiful sage green, and they were wrapped up in a pair of my pants. And after I woke up from the daze from after like hitting the pole, I was like, kind of like, what happened? But I don't think I passed out. But when I realized, you know, when I came to ish, I looked down and the glass antique cups hit my knee. Most of them were broken. There was one that survived. There was 4 in total and wrapped up in these pants legs, and one of them at least survived, but they hit my knee, and oh my god, both of my knees are bruised. They are bruised still, you know, like, what is this gonna be, 2 weeks later? By the time I managed to get, because my wrist, I had a really hard time getting out of my seatbelt, and it was so tight because it was, you know, after the accident. When I finally got out of the car, there was a couple of, like, about 3 people checking on him. So I never actually got to talk to him. I never got to see him. Because there was always like a couple of people around him. And I looked down at my wrist only after I got out of the car. I looked down at my wrist and it was not straight. So I was just, I couldn't find my phone. And one of the pedestrian, or not pedestrians, but one of the good Samaritans that came around and checked on us after the accident, let me call my mom on her phone. And I was like, Mom, I was just in a really, really bad accident. Told her where I was. She was about 20 minutes away coming home from the dentist. So they just, you know, came to me. And by the time they got there, I already had a splint on my arm, and I had told the guys, like, I'm just gonna go to the hospital when my mom and dad gets here, because I didn't want to pay for the ambulance trip, and also I wanted to go to Duke. Duke would be probably 2 hours away from where the accident happened, maybe 2 and 15 minutes. So I knew that the ambulance wouldn't take me to Duke. And everything's so much nicer because everything's through Duke, so everything would be so much nicer if it was through Duke. Also, being a liver transplant patient, a lot of people don't want to touch me because unless it's like a dire emergency, they don't want to touch me because it is very they don't want to hurt my liver. And yeah, anyway, so anyway, when they got there, they were kind of mad that I wasn't in the ambulance already. And my dad, which I understand is concerned now, but I thought he was angry at the time, and that was probably my own trauma and delusions and not dizziness, but confusion after the accident. He was like, "You have an egg on your head. You need to go to the hospital to make sure you don't have internal bleeding." And so I ended up going to the hospital. And it's kind of funny because when I gave the police officer my license, right under my license, which I don't really care about like what the order of the cards in the front pocket window is in my wallet. So I gave him my driver's license, and in the pocket, in the window, there was my crematory card that, and I like showed it to the EMT and was like, hopefully I don't need this, because I have my funeral arrangements already done, and my mom's actually paying them off. That was a birthday gift, actually, in 2022. So that was the card that was showing, and it was a little lighthearted, haha, hopefully we don't need this, you know. So I went to the hospital. My parents met me at the hospital. I asked them to find my phone and to grab the bag. I had just like a Wegmans reusable shopping bag as a purse that day. So I asked them to get my phone and grab that bag. And I am so glad that I did, because later you will see that something happened. Anyway, my dad made a joke about how my arm is splinted. I'm surprised this arm didn't get hurt, because I had an Apple Watch on this arm, and it is, I'll put a picture of it here. It is bad. I'm surprised that all I did was get cut up on my wrist, because I was wearing the Apple Watch. Anyway, my dad was like, you have all of this, and you have a bag of yarn. You're carrying a bag of yarn around. Anyway, they put a soft cast on me at the hospital and referred me to a orthopedist, because an orthodontist does teeth. They referred me to ortho, and then I ended up, that was Thursday, so Saturday I actually ended up going to a Duke urgent care, because I was like, I was like, this is killing me. I don't think they wrapped it right. And when the doctors and nurses seen it, they were like, no, this is not right. This is not right. Who did this? Oh my God, I can't believe they did this. I got rewrapped with a soft cast on that Saturday. And then, because it wasn't a Duke hospital or urgent care that I went to, they had to like ask the doctors if they were willing to take me for for the ortho referral from the hospital after the accident. So going to the urgent care, they gave me a referral, and because it was in the Duke system, I actually got in Monday. So Monday I went in, they put the hard cast on. I've chipped my ulna, and I've shattered my radial. There are so many cracks in it. One of them goes all the way through. However, he said that that would heal on its own. But I have crushed, and I need to stop saying I have because I didn't do this accident, but this joint right here is crushed, and they're going to, tomorrow I go in and they're going to do x-rays again, and they're going to see if the bones have moved, and if the bones haven't moved, I get to wear this for 6 more weeks. But if the bones has moved, I get to go to surgery. Yay! Ow. There's a little sharp bit, apparently. So yeah, I get to do that tomorrow. I figured out at the hospital with the soft cast on that I cannot crochet. I tried really, 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 really hard. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I am playing with this. I also reorganized my beads, and so now I know what I have as far as beads, and I'm really excited to maybe do some projects with beads. And then I played with this Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. After I finish the yarn that came with it, and that's why I'm doing drawstring bags, is because this yarn sucks. It's not even good for the machine. I figured out, I was so frustrated, but I think that this is 50 rows, and I didn't have a drop stitch, I didn't have a tuck stitch, but this is yarn from Hobie that my best friend got me for my birthday. So I figured out how to use the machine with that yarn, and then I'm aggravatingly using the yarn that came with the machine so it's not wasted, but I'm also not making something that is going to be worn. But after I used up this yarn, I actually bought, Saturday when we came home from the urgent care, I actually made my mom, I didn't even realize that they were in my neighborhood until after I bought it and stuff, but I made from Facebook Marketplace. I made my husband pick up something from Facebook Marketplace, and that was an embroidery kit. So maybe I can learn how to embroider, and I think I'm going to do that after I play with this yarn, finish up this yarn, and I might do projects with better yarn, and do the embroidery kit like together. I'm still on pain meds, and I'm on a pain contract, so I do get to take opioids, a little opioids every day, and they gave me a little bit extra, but I'm about to run out, and my normal prescription without my contracted prescription is 3 a day, 3 doses of the opioid, and with only 3 a day, I cannot do anything. I can't do this. I've tried to go down. At 3 a day, all I can do is like watch TV and not move this hand. And I'm doing most things with my mom's here with my left hand, but I think I'm gonna ask for another temporary dose so I can take that 4th dose, because with the 4th dose, I can do things like this. But I'm gonna go see the puppies because I've missed them so much. And I'll see you later. A few days later, I'm not knitting. I'm doing some cross stitch. But I need to finish the story. So after the accident, my car was taken to a wreck lot. It was towed. And I am an idiot when it comes to cars. But even I know that if you have a car that has front end damage, you want to take the battery out so that it doesn't spark or short and start a fire. Well, this record didn't do that. So my battery shorted and a fire broke out. There's nothing left. Absolutely nothing left. When I left the scene of the accident, I was crying because so much of my childhood was broken. But I didn't even get to scavenge for survivors. Nothing's left. I also found out yesterday that I am going to get surgery on my arm and wrist. I get metal plates and screws in both my thumb and my wrist. Yay.